welcome back to the HC Publisher, everyone. I'm Holly, and in this episode of How to Write a Book, we will be focusing on how to match the action of your writing with the pace of the plot. Whether it's an intense action scene or a calm, quiet moment of reflection for those characters, the energy of your writing should match the energy of what's happening in the book at that time. If you're new, thanks for checking out the channel, and if you're returning, thanks for coming back. Each week I will be posting a new video that walks us through and documents the process of how to write a book from start to finish. I have been a self-published indie author for the past decade. I started out when Amazon KDP was first gaining traction, and I've written 24 books in multiple genres. Thankfully, I've been able to achieve steady book sales over those years. So I love writing, and I have created this channel in hopes that we can build a community of writers who collaborate and share ideas. A little bit more about myself: I also incorporate higher conscious practices into my writing, and these are different things I do that I found most helpful for staying in flow and tapping into creativity. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe below and like and share so that we can build that community of authors and writers. Let's get started. Each day that I write, I set aside a block of time, and before I even sat down to write today, I actually used a higher conscious practice of going outside and taking a nature walk. Now you might think, that's simple, how does it help? There is tons of research out there that shows the importance of getting outdoors. If only for a few minutes, it boosts your mood and makes you feel better, but it also helps you tap into that creativity. And just like our previous videos when we talked about descriptive details, being outdoors, you become an observer. And any writer will tell you a lot of what makes your writing good is being able to observe and then write. So it helps with that, and it also helps you be grounded so that you can get more work done. So taking those few minutes, it all is made up for in how much you output on the actual page with your writing. Now, after I did that, I came inside and I'm getting started. When we're looking at matching the action of what's happening with the way you write and what that looks like, one of the biggest challenges for any author or writer is to keep a good pace of the plot. And that means balance, being able to match what's happening with what you put on the page with the story itself. What do I mean? I mean that if there's an action scene, it should look like it on your page. If it's a slow scene or a scene that is more reflective, characters are describing or telling something, it's a sad scene, your flow should slow down. And one way we do this is we make the words matter. In an action scene, I'm going to have shorter, more concise sentences. The dialogue back and forth between characters is going to be shorter, choppier. They're not sitting there having a long conversation in the middle of being chased. It's going to be quick and to the point, just like when you and I are in an intense moment. There is punchlines, not paragraphs. So I'm going to show in the book that I'm writing right now, from the second book in the series I'm doing of The Gifted, and we'll look at what does it look like on the page and how do you do that. Here I'm going into my electronic version in Reezy and pulling up the previous chapter I've written. In this chapter, there was a combination of some action mixed in with some thoughts and internal dialogue, where you can see there's a combination of sentence lengths and chapters. This chapter, however, is complete action where the two characters are on the run from people who are out to get them. The text I'm highlighting shows that the paragraphs may only have 1, 2, maybe 3 lines in them, and the dialogue is very quick in an exchange back and forth between the characters. There's not only intense, impactful words, but it is very choppy. And when we look at the actual page itself, you can see that it looks as if the flow would be choppy and quick, moving back and forth. And that's exactly what we want. We want the reader to be right there in on what's happening in the scene and the action, to feel as if they're in the book with the characters. I'm highlighting another example here where you can see the paragraph length in particular. And again, this is an action scene. This is what the page is going to look like with that, with the dialogue. From here, I'm going to go ahead and show you, in contrast, a chapter that transitions after the action scene so that you can see, while there is some shorter dialogue, the paragraphs are becoming longer. I have more sentences in each one, and on the page, it fills it out completely from margin to margin, moving into even more internal dialogue here, where you see the paragraphs are much longer than action scenes. Keep in mind, when you're writing, you still want to keep your paragraphs relatively short because it shows up better, especially in electronic reading for the consumer. It's easier for them to read on their eyes when your paragraphs are not too long. And then another chapter, this one completely begins with internal dialogue. I go in and put a paragraph break in because, again, that is a tip I would give all writers who are going to release in either Kindle or another audiobook version. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow, like, and share, and look out for the video coming next week.